Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to all of you. Students, please confirm if I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Students, am I audible? Please confirm in message if I am properly audible and visible to everyone. Vikas, Saloni, Pawan, Hemant, kindly confirm in message. All right, thank you Kirti, thank you Adit. So students, again a very warm welcome. Before we begin this session, I just want to know about my audience. So can you please tell me what's your level of preparation? Have you appeared in this particular mains, that is mains 2025, or you are preparing for 2026, so that we can take course of this session accordingly? Please confirm in the comment box, and students, please try to be interactive so that we can learn while we are delivering in this session. Abhi, Saloni, Arya, Pradeep, Pranjali, everyone please confirm whether you have attempted this mains, right, 2025 or 2026, so that I can get to know about all of you there. All right, thank you. So I assume many of you have appeared in 25, while some of you are also preparing for 2026. So with that in mind, I'll start this session. So in this session, as this heading conveys, these next 5-6 months are going to be very crucial, irrespective of whether you have written mains this year or not, whether you are expecting an interview call or not. These 5-6 months will actually make or break your preparation. Why I'm saying this is because, going by the experience of so many candidates over the years, I know this is something many people utilize in a good way, while others actually waste a lot of time thinking, okay, whether I get through or not. So first of all, I like to begin with this line, with this poetry of Mirza Beg, which says, गिरते हैं शहसवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले, which basically translates to, only the horsemen actually fall in battlefield. Those who have just crawled along in life cannot actually fall, right? So it some ways conveys how the people who have given this means. I want to salute everyone. Kudos to all of you, irrespective of how you have done. Now you have to take rest, right? I hope you have taken rest for last 5-7 days, or maybe you can again go for 2-3 more days of rest. But then you have to come back stronger, right? You have to come back stronger, because irrespective of whether you have given mains or not, whether you are hopeful for the interview or not, or basically many of you, as you conveyed in the chat, that you are preparing, these 6 months are going to be very crucial for you. Please let me know what was your score, specifically if you have failed in this prelims, and how much score, expected score, you are expecting in the mains, right? Whether you are seeing yourself as clearing mains, or you are just hopeful, or you are very much dissatisfied with your performance. Okay, Kanchan, perfect. Saloni, what was the score you were getting in prelims 2025, so that we can again. All right, Ayushi, you have started in June and you are preparing for 27. That's very good. You have again moved. You can move ahead with respect to others. What about others? Neha, Pradeep, Aryam, Vikas. What about you? Okay, Ayushi. Okay, okay. All right, Kirti. So you have appeared in 25. What was the score? Expected score? Kota Shrikant, everyone? Okay, so I can see many of you range in more or less, I can say 60 to 80 range, right? Okay, Aditya, that's good that you have been preparing for 26 and you have basically covered 2 main subjects as well. So my dear student, irrespective of the group that you belong to, I want to ensure that you understand how critical these next 6 months are going to be, because right now you have adequate time to actually have structured preparation. What I mean by structured preparation, that you have a plan, you have, say, weekly plan, monthly plan, quarterly plan, and you know, suppose you will be doing polity in next 15 days. After that you will going through economy, maybe internal security or something like that. So you have your structure plan, or you can at least make a structure plan, and you can execute it. Six months, given that you have some backgrounds, you have some foundation, is still a very good amount of time, right? So these 6 months have to be utilized in every way possible, best way possible, right? Because again, if you do not utilize this time, again you may have to go through this entire cycle in next year itself, right? Because UPSC is again very brutal, very brutal. They don't care whether you have missed by 1 mark or 2 marks. You have to go through the process all over again, right? So first thing is, it gives you adequate amount of time. Second thing is, treat these 6 months as pre-season. I hope many of you follow sports analogy. In football or in cricket, you have pre-season. When the tournament is about to start, you have some training sessions, training period. So these 6 months will act as pre-season to you. And mind you, all the greats, all the legends of the game, like Virat Kohli, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, everyone, right? They utilize this pre-season very effectively. It's not that their form will come as in when they go into the series. The form will be there if they have practiced enough in this pre-season. So repeat after me that, yes, sir, I will utilize pre-season effectively. Please write in the comment box so that I know you are with me on this, right? Please write. All right. These next 6 months will also ensure that you do not have anxiety or fear when you are at later stages of preparation. Please let me know honestly, how many of you are very fearful about your prelims preparation or your mains preparation? It gives you a lot of anxiety. Please be honest. Abhi, Saloni, Pradeep, Hemant, Edward, what do you think? Sometimes does it make you anxious that maybe this is remaining, that is remaining, I'm yet to cover ethics, I'm yet to cover these primary subjects, foundational subjects, right? Yes, many you are hardworking, but again, because of lack of structure, because of consistency sometimes, because of lack of time, because you start to prepare very late, you struggle with time management, right? Because of this, anxiety and fear will creep in. We cannot actually prepare for mains when you are just writing mains, right? You have to be prepared right now. Similarly, if you are thinking about cracking prelims, you have to integrate your preparation in such a way that, yes, I will keep practicing some part of prelims so that I am not fearful or anxious, right? All right. This is also the time to actually fill the gaps. So someone who has written mains may have some gaps in optional or in some particular GS. Or similarly, people who are preparing for 26, they might be left with some subjects. How many of you think that you are adequately prepared, or someone who thinks, no, sir, I need to work more? Please write, please let me know whether you feel the same, that maybe some subjects are still lagging, I'm not fully confident. How many of you, and specifically the subjects that you are struggling with? Please let me know. Manu, Nidhi, Priya, Saloni, what about you? Which part of the syllabus is still left for you, Saloni? Abhi, Arya? Yes. So Ishita is also saying a lot of anxiety is there. So you need to work more. Suppose history and polity is still lagging. So this will be there with every student. Understand, UPSC does not demand PhD in subjects. There will be some gaps in your preparation, right? And that's okay, that's totally normal. But at the same time, you have to respect your time. You have to respect these next 6 months, because these are going to be very much crucial for your next year result, right? Also, my dear students, many students struggle with answer writing. Many students do not follow up with the mocks properly, either for prelims or for mains. They again passively read many things, but they are reluctant to actually go through questions, actually have an exam like environment and give the test, either prelims or mains. How many of you actually give the test? How many of you have given a full length test for say GS or any subject of GS? Pritam, Pratham, do you want to ask something? Please write. Yes, you have not given any test so far, right? Arya, what about you? Ashmita? Students, kindly be a bit more attentive in the session, be a bit more, it has to go through two-way, right? You have to understand, if I don't know what you are struggling with, we cannot have a fruitful session, right? So, okay, you have just started preparation, so not yet completed. Obviously, that will be the way to go. But understand one point, this you have to understand. Regular improvement is the key to success. Doesn't matter where you start from. Maybe you start from 10 marks only, or maybe you start from 30 marks in your mains or prelims preparation. But at the same time, it is regular improvement that will yield the results. So maybe after 3 tests, your score may go to around 40. After that, maybe to 70, 80, 90, 100. Let me tell you a story. Even Shakti, when she joined this test series, she had around 70 marks in the very first paper. But she wrote all the tests. She wrote the test, she got the feedback, and after that, she scored 15 marks in the very end. And that what makes all the difference. I have seen so many people who just don't give up. And then they are the one who actually clears this exam, right? Okay, Kangan, that's good. So basically, these 6 months are very important for you. Now, before we go on to the specific demographically, according to your needs, we come to a plan what you need to do in these next 6 months. Before that, I want you to understand what UPSC is doing in mains. So the people, 1 month has gone. Can I say yes? Obviously, if you have some basic understanding of a subject, you can start with that. Suppose you have covered, say, 5 areas of polity. From mains point of view, you can give a full length test regarding that, or otherwise it can wait, you can give a sectional test. But idea is you have to train yourself for the exam, not for 20 questions, not for 30 questions in prelims, basically 100 questions. So that's the idea. So idea is what they wanted in this mains. First thing is, I always tell my students, whenever you are starting to prepare, right? If you are preparing for 27, if you are preparing for 26, your syllabus and your previous year questions are your best friends. So you have to take the insights from these two and then prepare accordingly, right? So we'll see what have been the reflections, the learnings from mains. So you think about these questions. Examine the scope of food processing industries in India. Elaborate the measures taken by government in this sector for employment generation. So basically, if you have gone through some previous year questions, you will understand there are some recurring topics. Every year or every alternate year, they will be asking some questions around it, irrespective of prelims or mains, right? So having a good command over previous questions is very important. Similarly, this question, how does nanotechnology offer significant advancement in the field of agriculture? So if you are smart enough, you can elaborate not just in agriculture, but in health, how it will be helpful in health, right? Similarly, you can specifically go for farmers, how it can be very important for farmers as well, right? Similarly, terrorism. If we talk about internal security, terrorism is a recurring theme. And it is all the way more important because of Pahalgam attack, right? So we know, and again, we'll come to that. So first thing is you have to understand your syllabus and your previous year questions well. So all these questions reflects that previous year are of immense importance. Similarly, all these questions, around Attorney General directly. Even if you have just read Lakshmikant, you can answer this question. Compare and contrast president's power to pardon. Now here your smartness will come. You know about pardoning power of India. Now there is a lot of stuff that is going on between India and USA. So you can also compare the powers of Indian president with of USA president, right? Similarly, very static. What are tsunamis? How they are formed? What are their consequences? Explain with examples. So you'll see every geography class will have these. So idea is you go through syllabus and previous year questions very well. Similarly, French Revolution, tribal development, all these things are there. Second learning, I want you to understand, please write these down, because irrespective of the phase you are in, you have to understand the mindset of UPSC. And here we are talking about mains mindset. So first thing is you have to have a very good grasp over previous year questions and static. So suppose you want to start with internal security. First thing is you'll need to go through the syllabus. What have been mentioned there? They have directly mentioned left-wing extremism. They have mentioned about cyber security. So at least these topics have to be there in your notes, and you have to regularly revise that. Okay, first part is previous year and your static part. Second thing is, obviously static is very important, but current affairs is also important. And this in last 4 or 5 years, what has happened is not just current but contemporary issues. So what's the difference between current and contemporary issues? Can anyone highlight what is the difference between the current and contemporary when I say this? Can you try? Take a pause, maybe think about it, what is current and what is contemporary. So when I say current, it is more about very recent news, say last 1 year or something. When I talk about contemporary, it is in a phase, last 5 years, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? So the contemporary themes, so India has pledged something in Paris Agreement, right? So how far we have delivered on that. So this is contemporary stuff. Similarly, suppose Smart India, Startup India, Smart City, right? All these schemes have completed around 10 years. So you have to be very smart that yes, these schemes have completed 10 years, so there may be a question around it, right? So again, challenges for northeastern states, specifically given that various issues were there in Manipur. So you have to link your current affairs with static. Always keep your eyes and ears open. What I mean by this is, whenever you are reading newspapers, specifically from mains point of view, you have to know your syllabus, you have to know your previous year questions, and if something is coming that overlaps with it, you at least have to have these headings in place that I have to prepare notes around it. I'm not saying just then and there copy and paste all the stuff that is there in the article, but you should know these are important topics that you need to cover, right? So there are so many questions that you can find. So about Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly, right? There is a lot of going on between India and USA because of oil purchases, gas purchases, right? So what is the distribution there? Onshore, offshore. These things you can predict. And this is what you have to understand, not just a regular aspirant who just reads and reads and reads. You have to sit down and analyze. So analysis will actually reap a lot of rewards for you. I hope all the students understand this point, that you cannot clear UPSC with just rote learning. You have to apply your mind. You have to look, keep your eyes and ears open, link everything. And I'll tell you in the later part of this session as well, the toppers like Shakti Dubey, you analyze the copies and you'll see she actually interrelates a lot, not just in topics, but also in subjects. Right. So whenever she is talking about, say, drug problem in India, she is also quoting Gandhian sins, 7 sins according to Gandhi, how it opposes that. Right. So idea is you make these interlinkages. So again, I hope you understand this. So what are the contemporary issues? Anyone can predict. Yes, a lot of tariffs, wars have been going on. Trump, Mr. President, right? Again, Mr. President has his own ways of working. So one day he's calling our prime minister one of the best friends, and next day he's imposing these 25 plus 25% tariffs. So again, how India as an economy can actually sail through this? So this is again very important question. Similarly, there can be a question on sovereignty of a nation, and that they have actually asked in GS2 part, okay, of IR part. Okay, I'll come to that. So these things can be there. Similarly, when we are living in this times of war right now, right? So there can be obviously questions around war, and this was asked in ethics paper as well. So war is a diplomacy by other means. This is what Putin will say, right? Russian President Putin will say, I am basically following a form of diplomacy by going through war because they were not listening to me, right? So this is what I'll come to that. I'll come to that, Vikas. So what I mean by is these contemporary issues. You have to take care that yes, I know these are the issues that are there in the news. Similarly, social media impact on children, right? Social media ethics. So this was the question that was asked. So in the present digital age, social media has revolutionized our communication and interaction. However, it has raised several ethical issues and challenges. Describe the key ethical dilemmas. So whenever you are reading newspaper, you can link how it is going to be, can be asked in my ethics paper, right? This is how you will smartly predict these questions, these themes, right? So I hope you are getting the point. Similarly, there is a very important role of analytical thinking. Even if you know stuff, you have to apply that in the exam hall, right? So we all know, okay, smart city, it has completed 10 years, but now how smart city address the issues of first urban poverty and second distributive justice. So this is not just about smart city as a scheme. They are specifically asking you how it has addressed the issues, these two particular issues. So you can make a heading, yes, how it has addressed urban poverty or distributive justice, or you can make a table, positive aspects related to urban poverty, issues that still remain related to urban poverty. Similarly, second table for second thing. So idea is you have to apply your mind there, even though you can predict something, but still you have to apply your mind, right? Similarly, this question, women's social capital complements in advancing empowerment and gender equity. We all know about social capital, we all know about women, but now interlinkage. In the question itself, they are interlinking this, how women's social capital can actually complement advancing empowerment and gender equity, right? And these things will only develop when you analyze, you practice. I hope you get the crux of this overall discussion, right? Also, there is a trend of interlinking various aspects. So in the ethos of civil services in India stand for combination of professionalism with nationalistic consciousness. This was asked in GS1, right? Similarly, you know about globalization, how globalization results in only aggressive consumer culture, right? This have been there in Western countries. Now, how it is impacting our countries as well. So this is a debate that we know, but now you have to apply that. It is not just a question on globalization, it is a question on globalization. Do you think that globalization results in this aggressive consumer culture? So idea is keep understanding the themes, keep your notes ready, make your notes if you have any gaps. Also develop your analytical abilities, and that will only come when you practice, right? So if I want to say in just 2 steps, first, analyze these previous year questions regularly, try to brainstorm them, right? How I will divide these parts, because understanding what is asked is very important. Many students came after me and sir, I knew the question, but I could not hit the demand of the question. I just wrote about globalization. I did not even saw this part. So it will take practice. So brainstorm then actually write. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? So this is what my understanding have been from this mains 2025 papers. I hope everyone is with me till now. All right, okay. Now let's move on. Again, these are some of the things that we could easily predict, right? How India can achieve energy independence through clean energy by 2047. We want to be a Viksit, developed country by 2047. So how we can do that in that particular direction? Now let's come to specific based on your level of preparation. So I'll call this category 1, the people who have given mains and are hopeful for the interviews. The people who have given mains but not hopeful, I hope, I wish you will also clear, but at the same time they know I have messed up in a big way. So it's very slight chances there to get an interview call. Even for them, I'll tell what to do. And rest, all the people who are preparing for 26, 27 or otherwise will be in category 3. So what I want you to understand is, even category 3 people, the people who are studying for 26 or 27, have to go through these phases in future, right? So please keep your ears open, right? Because at some point of time you have to prepare for the interview as well, right? You have to consolidate your mains as well. Okay? So this is something that you have to go through. Now, very specific thing for category 1 people to actually get a top AIR this year itself. That is, in 2027, to find your name in the list, you have to focus on these steps in next 4-5 months. Okay? And this is the agenda of this session, irrespective of your level of preparation, how to get maximum in these 5-6 months. So the people who, and again, even for others, it will be beneficial because in future they have to prepare for the interviews as well. Now, because many people think, okay, in the very end, I'll first complete the prelims aspects, then I'll go through the mains aspect, then maybe someday if I get an interview call, I'll prepare my hobbies and everything. I understand you can prepare to a certain level, but there is not just a discussion around the content. It is about your personality, your awareness, and that cannot be shaped in these last 1 or 2 months, right? So key focus. Even if you are reading something, maybe you are developing a hobby. If you are watching some motivational videos on TED Talks, maybe you can write it as a hobby as well. So your hobbies can be prepared. The region from which you are coming, your state, your college, right, your background, all these things can be integrated in your preparation. I'm not saying if you're just starting, you start interview preparation, but maybe half an hour you can talk about how your state is doing, right? It will be helpful in your mains as well as other aspects of preparation as well. So the people who are expecting a call for next 2 months, your focus should be on prioritizing interview preparation. Maybe you will take a day off, 2 days off, 3 days off, but after that you come and you start preparing for interviews. 60 to 70% of your time should be given to interview preparation, because I have seen very good candidates thinking maybe they cannot clear and they are just lost all the hope in the world, and then they find their name in the list, and then maybe in the very first batches they are having their interview. So it's very difficult to prepare in that short amount of time. So please be proactive, right? Start reading 2 newspapers. Mind you, this is about for those people who are expecting a interview call. Don't just think, okay, I'm just starting preparation and I'll go and read 2 newspapers. Not needed, right? Why 2 newspapers? Because first you should have balanced opinions. Your opinions should matter. It should not be opinion of editor of the Hindu or the Indian Express or the Times of India. Idea is your opinions will be valued. So have balanced opinion. Second thing is, start working on your DAF. And what your DAF is basically about yourself. Who am I? What I want to do, right? What is my hobbies? Where do I come from? If my father is from army, what are the problems of army, right? What is the role of women empowerment in army? How army can actually fast track it? Something like that. Okay? For that, you can use interview transcripts available so that you can actually read how the candidates over the years, and they have graciously shared their experience of interview in these transcripts. You can download them, and then you can go through maybe 1 or 2 interview transcripts every day based on your background, based on your achievements, etc. Right? Also, whenever you want to go deep, you can use ChatGPT. try to make some questions around this, right? I am coming from, say, Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. So tell me, what questions can I expect from Bareilly? So what are the issues of law and order, economy, right? Cultural significance, something like that. Okay? So this is what you have to do. Focus on the interview. Second part is, you can cover some blunders that can be there in your preparation. Maybe I have not given due time for my optional, right? And you are still expecting an interview call, so maybe you can fill those gaps. Okay? Similarly, I can brush up my current affairs, and for the current affairs, I'll say focus should be on economy, international relations, government schemes. These should be the priority, right? Because there is a lot of going on in international relations right now, and its impact on our Indian economy. And we want to be a developed state by 2047. So these are there. Also some social issues. Okay? So priority should be this when you are reading about current affairs. So I hope not just the interview appearing candidates, all the others will also know how to go about interview preparation if needed in future. Okay? So you can cover some weaknesses, that is maybe some optional, maybe 1 or 2 GS subjects. So I am very good in polity, but sometimes I struggle in governance or in agriculture, something like that. So idea is 6 hours may be given to your overall interview preparation, 3 to 4 hours can be given for your these mains preparation. Okay? Now comes the final part. You have to practice a lot. You have to practice. It's not just writing answers in 3 pages or 2 pages, because in answers your introduction may be not that good, but your body is good. So overall you may be score very good, decent marks. But in interview you have to be very crisp, very precise, and you have to imbibe and deliver the qualities that is needed in offices. So you have to be calm, you have to be polite. So sometimes they may try to again get the worst out of you, right, instigate you, but don't be that. Be calm, be polite, and that will only happen when you start working on your communication, your body language. So practice first in front of friends or some maybe peer group, or also you can also practice in front of a mirror or record in front of camera and then analyze how am I doing, right? These things are again very important. So even people preparing for 26 or 27 may do it in a month or something. Once in a while, start practicing. Ask your friend to ask some questions and try to deliver. And people specifically coming from say Hindi belt are not very much comfortable in English, right? So this will add to their communication skills as well, right? Okay, so finally you have to maintain a positive mindset and try to imbibe and reflect the qualities of officers. This is what you have to do. This is the first category people, that is who are expecting an interview callback. Second people, and people who have given this mains, but they know somehow in their heart that it was not up to their level, right? So maybe they will not get an interview call. Even for those, I'll say obviously next 5-6 months will serve as the foundation for a very good AIR next year, right? Your future will be written in these 4-5 months. So don't get bogged down. Okay? I'll come to that. Please, Kangan will discuss these things in the Q&A wala part. You can ask me a particular question, then we can answer that. Okay? So idea is foundation will be laid in these 5-6 months. So how you can start your preparation right now? So maybe you are comfortable in some subjects, say polity. Then start from the weaker subjects. Every week, give yourself some targets, and every day your overall, obviously you can start with your newspaper in the morning, maybe 1 hour, half hour, whatever, and then a slot for your optional preparation if there is any issues, or say 2-3 hour slot for optional, 3 hour slot for your GS, right? And then if ethics is missing, maybe 1 hour for ethics, something like that. So idea is fill the gaps, and gaps will be filled. First, you need to have some good notes with you. I'm not saying have the notes all by yourself. You can also reverse engineer. If you have some compilation and it is good enough for some particular topics, you can go through that. You have some model answers, you can go through that. You have some toppers notes, you can also include that. but at the end it should make sense for you. Or something is missing entirely in these notes, say some emerging things, use of drones in warfare, so maybe it's not there. So you have a full-fledged thematic notes on that. Okay, that is there. Now next thing you have to target is, obviously you are covering your mains for say 70 to 80% of the time, but still, as I said, there are slight chances that you may get an interview call, and that even the experience of interviews will make a lot of difference. So 10 to 20%, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour every day should be given to interview wala part. So whatever I had discussed in the first part, just make it short. So maybe I'll study about my deaf, right, or about my hobbies every day, 1-2 hours. That is what you have to do in these next 4-5 months. You can also break down first 1-2 months. You will use this strategy. If by God's grace you clear the exam, you focus on the interview wala part. If you don't, you come back to the third category, that yes, I have to full-fledgedly prepare for next year, right? I hope this is clear, because always remember, mistakes are the stairs we climb to reach success. Maybe you have committed some mistakes in this preparation, in this attempt, but don't make similar mistakes in the next one. Also preempt yourself so that you make all the mistakes before your mains or prelims next year. Okay, I hope it is making sense. Am I clear? Any issue, anything that you want to discuss so far? Please write in the comment box. If everyone is okay, I'll okay, I hope you are with me till now. And specifically for the people who have given mains, so you should understand the first target, and it is again lessons for all of you who are going to appear in next year as well. Okay, first thing, that after writing mains, you have to understand you can only write whatever you have internalized in mains. In those 3 hours, you cannot think and write something then and there. Either it will be below par, or it will make you leave some questions at the very end, which is again a blunder. So first argument is you have to complete your paper in 3 hours, and for that you have to understand the space and time constraint. So maybe you can read a lot of books, maybe you have read a lot of books, but finally only the 2 pages are needed. So your notes should be in such a way that can be used in mains. So it should not be entire libraries, right? If you want to prepare, say, for basic structure doctrine, you have to have a crisp introduction. What is basic structure doctrine? What is the evolution of the doctrine? What is the significance? What are the concerns? And how to actually balance it out, and then conclusion. Something like that. Thematic notes have to be prepared. And then you have to understand content remains the king. So you have to have some up-to-date content. It should specifically the data part. So you can use some unique examples by Better India in your ethics, or economic survey in your GS, right? And for that, again, your model answers, the test series, all these things will add a lot of value. But apart from the value addition, what you have to do is multiple revisions, because unless and until you internalize everything, you cannot write that in 7 minutes. If your pen stops for more than half a minute, you will not be able to complete the paper itself, and then it will be very difficult to actually come into the list. Okay. Also, by these you may have to practice some bounces, right? What I mean by bounces, maybe you are not prepared about something, but again, how to strategically make an answer in those 7 minutes, that you have to practice. Also, to make yourself stand out, you have to establish interlinkages across subjects, across topics, and that will only come, excuse me, when you are writing tests, when you are receiving the feedback, and then going back again. Okay. Pranjali, how to analyze internal and interlink syllabus with previous year questions? Suppose you have a topic coming in news regularly. There is judicial pendency of cases, right? So judicial pendency is there. So in syllabus there is mention of issues with 3 branches of government. So judiciary is one of the branch. Now whenever you are discussing about judicial pendency, you should know what is the major reason for it. So obviously there is issues of basically lack of coordination between executive and the judicial aspect, but at the same time PIL is one of those important things that is again a very good thing, but at the same time it puts a lot of burden. So if a question uh, can be predicted in advance, you can interlink this part, how PIL can be a bane or as well as a boon. Okay, so this is what I mean. Or when you are talking about say drones, you knew in Pahalgam attack, after that we have Operation Sindoor, so a lot of drone strikes were there. So I know it is important for security of our country. Now I have to prepare my notes accordingly. Use of drone in electronic warfare or for internal security purposes. This is how you should link. But again, it will come only by practice. Now let's come to people who are preparing for 2026 and specifically people who are new. So your first and foremost focus, my dear students, should be on having a structure to your preparation. You don't need the best plan in the world. You don't need the best of best teachers or mentors with you. But idea is you should have a plan that works for you, that is good for you, not the best plan in the world, right? So it should be a structure. The plan should be structured. Say if I want to break down, maybe in 15 days I'll cover the 10 topics that is mentioned in the polity wala part. Then for governance I'll give 7 days or 10 days depending on my level of preparation. Whenever I'm saying I'm reading, I'm revising, and then I'm giving tests. So suppose I have a slot of a week, so I'll plan and then I'll try to execute in that plan, and then at the end I'll try to give either a prelims test or a mains test. This is how I will actually learn. Otherwise I'm just passively reading. Okay. Second thing is, and this is again the most important, your consistency is the key. This exam is not about IQ. Mind you, I have various students, various mentees across the years who are very talented, coming from IITs, IIMs, working Google, Zurich, etc. There's no issues with their IQ, but at the same time, they were not disciplined, they were not consistent. And people, even though they have failed in BTech, have cleared this exam. I know the students, right? So idea is the focus should not be just on IQ. Obviously, you need a certain level of analytical skills, but it's not entirely that. You can beat that with your consistency, with your practice, right? For next 6 months, please promise yourself and to me that yes, sir, I will be consistent. If you are with me, if you are sure, if you want, please write it down, sir, I will be consistent, right? Take a pledge, because otherwise not even the best courses in the world will help you. It is entirely, obviously you have to have good mentorship, good direction, but at the end it is you who have to deliver, right? Apart from Pranjali, what about others? Right? Okay, thank you. So make sure that you have structure to preparation, you have consistency. Third thing is you have to regularly apply whatever you are learning. So when I say you have a week plan, then at the end of the week, doesn't matter if you don't know anything about that topic. You have to go and write the test. And again, it's a punishment for you. Next time, be prepared in those 7 days. I'm not saying 100%, maybe 50%, 60%, 70%. Give your best. Don't compare to others. Compare to yourself. I had delivered only 2 hours yesterday. I have to deliver at least 6 hours today. Now, from 6 to 8, 8 to 10, something like that. But we have to start improving. Okay? I hope it makes sense. So regular application is the key. As I told you, story of Shakti. You have to regularly write your answers from 70 to 115. It will only happen when you are consistent. And she is just one case. Every one of the toppers have actually written a lot, revised a lot, right? And they were consistent in this. And finally, you have to get proper feedback and improvement and focus on that improvement. That's how you will actually improve. I often quote this to my students. It doesn't matter where you start from. If you improve 1% every day, you will be around 37 times better at the end of the year, right? So it doesn't matter if you are starting today, you have to start from somewhere, right? If you are serious about this preparation, you have to start from somewhere. So better start today. Okay? I hope it makes sense. Any issues so far? Any issues? Vishal, what I meant was you have to have a plan. Don't just go by the noise that is there in the market. So suppose you started with polity, you and your mentor sat down and made a plan for you. Maybe mentor can be a proper official professional mentor. It can be your someone who is in civil services, who has experience, but at the same time they should be regularly available to you. It should not be like once in a month or something they are just giving some gyan. It should be on daily, weekly basis. That's how it should be. So you have a structure. I'll complete my polity next 15 days. 5 days, first 3 topics, next 5 days, next 3 topics, and then I'll conclude. And then some toppers comes or some friend comes in and say, why are you doing polity? You should focus on, say, governance. It is a very low yielding fruit. And then you switches to governance. Or someone comes in, why you are studying GS? You have your optional with you. You still have not covered optional fully. So better focus on those 300 marks. I'm not saying they're entirely wrong, but idea is you should know what works for you. Maybe you already have the potential to reach around 270 marks in optional, but again, next 6 months, if you are giving everything, maybe you will increase 10 marks. But in GS, if you give those 6 months, in every paper, you can increase 20 marks. So around 80 marks can be improved. So you have to focus on the structure. Don't get bogged down by the advices that you will get every day, right? So when you are in the journey, always remember that there will be some mistakes. I'm not saying there will not be mistakes, but idea is you should course correct. As soon as you make a mistake, you should document it. Yes, I have made a mistake. From next time, at least I'll not do the same mistake. Example. Many people come to me, sir, in prelims, I could have scored around 120 marks this year itself, but I have made a lot of silly mistakes. I did not read not properly, right? Whose fault is that? It's your fault because you have not practiced enough. You do not have this habit of maybe circling a knot so that you train your brain that way. Okay? So mistakes are bound to be there. Whenever there is learning, there are going to be mistakes. But idea is you should focus on mistakes, improve it. Similarly, you are writing big introductions in mains. Everyone tells you, but you are not improving because you think maybe somehow it will be improved. So focus should be, obviously, mistakes are parcel of this process, but at the end, you have to work on it, right? Finally, your story has to be a story of great determination and perseverance. You may not get everything in next 1 month or 2 months or 6 months, but you should persevere. You may not get 120 marks in prelims. Maybe you are getting around 80. It's okay. No one knows in prelims exam, you may actually cross 120 as well. So keep working hard, right? Next thing is more focus should be on building a discipline, a structure to your preparation. Discipline is the key. As I told you earlier as well, consistency and discipline, it is again a very important thing, much more important than motivation, because motivation will be like this. Sometimes it's very high. I am going to be IAS officer in next 1 year. Everyone will feel in the morning. In afternoon, no, I cannot do it. So don't go by the motivation phases. Focus should be on building the system around you. That yes, I have to complete this in next 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, and then I'll write the test. I don't care about the marks. I will improve. I'll take the feedback of my mentor and then I'll improve. Okay? Also, don't delay on answer writing or tests, because again, it's kind of a procrastination from your end. You will not clear this exam unless and until you apply, right? So make sure every week you are writing a test, either prelims test or a mains test, according to your level of preparation. I hope you are getting the point. Okay? Similarly, at the end, you have to have some notes around with you so that there is a level of multiple revisions, 5-6 revisions for mains by the time you are writing mains. Similarly, for prelims as well, many people come, sir, I knew this question, but I could not pinpoint because you have not revised well. They knew which page was there on Lakshmikant, but still could not get the question. Why? Because you have not रिवाइज इट, ठीक है. सो मेक सम शॉर्ट नोट्स. Obviously there is a role of luck in this exam, but it is not that much ki it will snatch away your selection. Your hard work will pay off. So make sure for next 6 months, focus on the hard work. And this is just an exercise for you. If you have been procrastinating in answer writing, how many of you have felt this ki sir, I want to start writing answers but I have not done it yet? Please be honest and share that with me. Anjali, Vishal, Aditya. Please let me know if you have faced this issue that yes, I want to start answer writing, but again then okay, you have done it for maybe a month, and after that you are not doing it. Okay, Aditya, thanks for sharing. uh, so idea is 90% of the students think they can write, or even if they don't think, they will think okay, once I clear the prelims I will write in mains. That will not happen. So make a time, maybe a day, every day, or at least on the weekend, कि every Sunday, maybe at 9 a.m. or 12, you will write a test, either a sectional test or a full length test, doesn't matter, but you have to start giving your mind a cue that this is the time to write a test. I don't care if you know this or not, if you know the content properly or not, but give this is for those who have done some part of the basic foundation. If you have just started maybe a week back, don't bother, right? Build some content first. But for others, decide and dedicate a time daily or weekly, because it will serve as a cue to your mind. Yeah, now it is the time to actually write. And this is again for those who are just beginning, who have written mains. You can, again, you have to improve by regular answer writing, weekly answer writing, weekly test analysis. Someone who is struggling with answer writing, start with one answer daily, right? Take out 15 minutes, 10 minutes, take out a previous year question, maybe preferably from a toppers channel, where they have shared, okay, I have written these previous year questions. If not, you can take out any previous year question, brainstorm it, think how you will break down, and then actually try to write that in 8 to 10 minutes. I'm talking about say 10 marker. Initially speed will be low, it's okay, but idea is you should take out particular previous year question, or you can take out any test or topper copy, whatever you suits you, but you have to start it. So please pledge to me, specifically the people who have been struggling with this, right now after this session, I'll take one previous year question, I'll brainstorm it, and then I'll write an answer, and then I'll make it a habit, right? How many of you are with me on this? Please commit so that you can improve. Otherwise, no one can actually improve just by listening something. You have to be actively involved. Okay, Kangan, okay, Vishal, thank you for your participation. I hope others will do the same as well, right? When you are writing, initially just keep it very simple. I'll start with a subject which I'm comfortable with, maybe polity, maybe ethics, whatever you are. Just take out one previous year question. Then you allocate these 5, 10, 15 minutes every day for this process. Just follow one structure: introduction, body, and conclusion. I don't want anything fancy right now. No, maybe no maps. If you are comfortable with maps, obviously this will yield that. But at the end of the day, introduction, body, and conclusion should be there in your answers. And this is what I want you to do for next 1 or 2 months. If you are comfortable, then obviously you will go on to write tests. Okay. So this is about it. You can start with any UPSC sheet. Practice with end in mind, that you have limited space and time. So don't just think I'll be writing the best answer. There will not be best answer. It will be obviously improvement. There have to be some improvement. Obviously, it will start maybe with 1 or 2 marks. Then you will cross that 3, 4, 5 marks limit. Okay. So this is what you have to do. If you can do it alone, I have no issues. But I have found most of the students actually, after listening, realize that they cannot do it consistently, right? If you can do it consistently and if you have been getting results from that, good luck to you, no issues. But at the end, if you want any help, always focus on the institutions, on the system. So I always say this to my students: what's stronger than individuals? It's the processes. Processes actually help you get maximum of your potential, reach your maximum potential. Okay, so this will be helpful, and for this we have a step up mentorship program whose new batch will be launched on 18th September, and these have been our mentors. Shakti Dubey was a mentor in our step up mentorship program only, so you can think about the quality of mentorship you will be getting. So these two toppers, again, both IAS this year, are from our mentorship program only, right? So you'll get quality mentorship so that they can actually help you strategize, right? They will ensure that every week you are meeting them, you are making a plan with them. They will be making some accountability calls so that you are consistent, right? And consistency is the key. Every 3-4 days you will receive a call and they will check on your progress, and then at the end you will write either a prelims test or a mains test. Okay, so this way the structure will be there, consistency will be there, application will be there, and then you will keep learning. So these are the features of the program. You will receive a personalized mentorship. You will have some topper sessions. Toppers like Shakti Dubey will be there sometimes as super mentors. Other toppers will also be there. You will be having current affairs module. You will be having essay modules. As I said, every week there will be tests. So around 30 tests till January. After that, you will be enrolled in prelims camp, which will have 60 to 65 prelims specific tests. Similarly, after prelims, you will be having mains test series, 12 GS full length tests, so that you can revise everything 3 times. If you qualify prelims, you will also have mains camp, where toppers like Shakti Dubey, etc., were discussing answers daily with you, and you can discuss your answers with them as well, right? We will be giving you workbooks for prelims, for mains, 1 pages. If someone is short on time, they can revise the whole society based on previous year and syllabus wala part that we discussed in the very beginning, in say 70 pages. You just keep revising that, right? It will be very beneficial for you. Similarly, there will be some answer writing lectures and topper level note making, etc., will be done. So workbooks will be there, topper level notes will be provided. These things will be covered, right? We will help you in preparation, in phase wise preparation, depending on your level of preparation. So if someone is very new, we will take around 2.5 months for the foundation basis of your further improvement. Then we'll come to the integration wala part, and then we'll be having prelims specific phase which will be starting from January or February based on your level of preparation, and then you have mains exclusive phase. So this will help you integrate everything. Also, you will have current affairs, smart current affairs module within this step up program by Jayan sir. Even Shakti was part of that, right? And she benefited immensely. You will be having these kind of short sheets so that you can revise. Similarly, some essay workshops will be provided by Piyush sir itself, who have been mentor of various toppers around the years. Last year, Aditya was his mentee, right? Similarly, around 10-15 students in top 100 this year have been from his mentorship itself. Okay? So these along with this, various other features will be provided to you. If you have any questions, you can scan this QR code or you can call on this number. They will help you with this program structure as well. Right now, I'll take your questions now. If you have any questions, you can drop into the comment box. I'll try to answer that. Yes. So someone was asking in the very beginning. If you have any questions, you can start asking now. Anjali, can you be more specific? What's your doubt exactly? Audio. Okay, please leave your doubts. If you have any doubts, you can leave in the comment box. Okay, Siddharth, you are a part of fledgling batch. I think they sit on third floor. You can ask for fledgling batch mentors. They will help you out with that. Don't worry. Yes, Pragya, that is true. Time management is the problem, and again, it's not for you. It's because of poorly designed strategy plans for yourself, right? Proper time management will only be there if you have someone experienced working with you. Experience is the key because they know how to do that. They have done it, and then they will help you apply that as well. Um, how to manage optional subject in GS. So again, it depends on your level of preparation. But if I have to crudely say how to time devise your time slots, as I discussed with you, if you are starting, you have to have one session of your newspaper, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on your, not more than that, not more than 1.5 hour, because many people, I have seen students giving 3-4 hours for current affairs newspaper, and that is not needed. You have to have a good grasp, and then you can move on to that part. Then secondly, if you have optional and you have big gaps, I'll dedicate 3 to 5 hours based on your level of preparation. Someone who have comfortable command, they have to just add value or revise, they can do it in 2-3 hours. But someone who has to go through classes and then make notes and then add value, they obviously have to give more time for that. Okay. Then you have to be very objective. Optional is 500 marks. Okay. Optional is 500 marks. GS is 1000 marks. So 500 marks cannot veto 1000 marks. Okay. So idea is, if you allocate say 9 to 10 hours, so overall 8 hours for your preparation of these two parts, so maybe half a time, not more than that. Ideally, mathematically, it should be half of GS, but I'm not asking you to do that. Maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, and then 4 to 5 hours for your GS wala part. Okay. Saran, how often can you meet? It is more about your level, what doubts you have, right? It's not like every week, Monday to Saturday, mentors will be available 10 to 6. You can reach out to them anytime. But at the same time, I want you to understand one thing. When you have a plan of week with you, focus should be on implementing the plan. India is very good at planning, but execution is the key. So if you face any issue, you can reach out to your mentor even in between. As I told you earlier, every 3 to 4 days, they will have a call to ensure you are accountable, you are consistent. But even after that, if you want to reach out to your mentor, you can reach out to them via message, via call, or you can visit offline as well. Okay? That's totally demand based. I hope that's clear. Kirti, it is preferable if you have your current affairs notes, specifically from prelims point of view, environment, economy, you can make separately. But otherwise, it has to be thematic notes. From mains point of view, as I told you earlier, say role of drones. Role of drones, first, role of drone is in agriculture, then role of drones in internal security, something like that. So these have to be thematic notes. Okay, Priyanka, thank you for that. You will start with your answer writing. That's good. Any other questions? Please do let me know. Yes, you have to make your subject-wise notes. That is, again, very important. That's how you will revise. Any other question? Abhinay, it is more about people who are approaching for 2026. And for them, I have asked them to follow this routine. Have a structure to preparation, be consistent, focus on application, that is answer writing or prelims test. So every week, give yourself a target, try to meet the target. At the end of the day, you write the test or you get the feedback for the test. That's how you will improve. Right, note making, how to analyze previous year questions. I have taken other videos as well. You can watch it. It's comprehensive in that sense, but at the same time, idea remains same. You have to have some specific targets with you, and you have to cover that. How do we evaluate our own answers? There are two aspects to this. I cannot talk about all the optionals, but I will give you a general idea. If I am talking about optional subjects, irrespective of optional subjects, what you have to understand is it is crucial for any subject, either GS or optional. You have to have understanding of demand of the question. I don't know what's your background, who have asked this question. So I assume, suppose you have sociology as background, right? So they are asking about how gig economy can also lead to alienation in workers. So there is topic of alienation as a concept by Marx. So idea is you need not just talk about Marx idea of alienation. You have to apply that today in the context of gig economy. So first is demand of the question should be met. In Hindi, in simple Hindi, you have to understand जो पूछा है उसका आंसर देना है rather than जो आपको आता है, which translates to you have to write what they have asked instead of what you know, right? Second thing is you have to have content. Suppose in optional, suppose it's a 10 marker. So if it is having one dimension only, you have to give certain number of points. Every point, try to at least support it with some scholars' ideas, some data. Like in economy, if I say economy is growing without giving you any data, it will not make any sense. Similarly, if I'm saying, yes, Uber drivers are getting alienated today. Now, I can say this, but I'm not a sociologist. So there was an article in EPW which had the title Uber alienated. So you can use that to substantiate your idea. Things like that will work in different optional. So first thing is demand of the question. Second thing is content. Third thing is you have to have some case studies, key ideas, vocabulary ready, right? So that your optional answers are more aligned to optional rather than just your GS answer. Again, an example, sex ratio in India is dropping. Analyze sociologically, right? You cannot just give the facts of GS. You can quote some thinkers like Ravindra Kaur from IIT Delhi, right? So these things will actually make your answer more sociological or other subjects as well. So idea is focus on these three aspects, but again, you can also reach out to concerned people in your particular option as well. Priyank, when I say brainstorming, suppose there is a question, can war be ethical? Can war be ethical? Suppose this is a question. So think about it. Now this is an ethics question. So when I ask you to brainstorm, first understand the tone. It's a question. Can war be ethical? So how will I break this question? So first thing would be, yes, in certain times it can be ethical. However, from certain philosophies, like for a Gandhian, for Gandhiji, war can never be ethical. That's why he suspended NCM movement, right, after Chauri Chaura. So idea is break down this particular questions according to demand of the question. I'm not asking you to write it down right now. Maybe you will brainstorm. Okay, if this war is for self-defense, then it can be ethical. If it is for higher moral values, protection of human rights, maybe it can be ethical. If it causes good of largest number of people in the world, maybe it can be ethical. But again, in ethics, there is nothing like purely objective answers, right? So you have to show your arguments accordingly. I hope it is clear. Any other question that anyone wants to ask? Any other question? Sir, to manage time, we should choose particular topics for a day and give the test. I'll say not daily basis. When I say give yourself targets, so first is broad targets for the week, right? Suppose first three topics of polity. This is my weekly target. In first target itself, salient features of Indian Constitution, historical underpinnings. In that historical underpinning, maybe I'll discuss 1935 Act, how it has inspired us. Role of national movement, right? Salient features like preamble, basic structure, something like that. So when I'm talking about topics, you prepare that topic, read the topic, make notes, and then at the end of the week, write answers. If you have all the content, you are just having a phobia of answer writing, then you can start with one answer per day, not more than 15 minutes, so that it should not take up the time of your content. If you are full-fledged, if you have everything sorted, your notes are ready, you have revised it multiple times, then you can have maybe a test in every 5 days or 7 days. That's totally up to your level of preparation. I hope it is clear. Any other question? Saloni, Vishal, Abhi, Arya? If you are giving, yes, obviously. Matlab, you cannot clear this exam unless and until you are good in optional, and you cannot prepare your optional in just those 2-3 months. So obviously you have to start taking optional. Best time would have been in June, July, right? Best time was then, but again, next best time is today. So start with that, Narek. Any other questions? Uh, yes, you can use yellow books are well researched, right? But again, in UPSC, it's not like college exam or it's not like board exam. There will be, say, 80% of the syllabus that is covered, but 20% of the syllabus you need to cover by current affairs, maybe your test series, something like that. Okay, sir, your question, what if we stuck with a specific question, then how to smart play? Sir, can we have, yes, you can choose any language in the interview, that's not an issue. How I prepare for, then in the case of me, how much more content I, idea is, the prelims may you have to analyze previous year questions, you have to see what works, what doesn't work, but again, prelims is more unpredictable. For mains, you have a syllabus with you, right? With your syllabus, with your previous year questions, you study and you make notes, and then you see by regular tests whether it is working for you. If it is not, you have to expand the scope. And that's why, my dear students, you need, yes, it is very much there in online mode as well. So you need help of mentors so that you don't struggle. There are various ways to achieve truth, right? You can go by this direction, you can go by this direction, you can go by this direction, but the most efficient is by a guru, a teacher, right? So a teacher will actually guide you, it will actually solve many problems for you, it will actually warn you of the things that you can commit a mistake, right? Okay, you are focusing too much on, say, essays right now, first you have to focus on GS or optional, something like that. So yes, this will be there. uh, Again, as I said, at least start today, so that you have basic understanding of contemporary news. But at least 1 year of current affairs is needed for your prelims and mains preparation. But as I displayed to you, even smart city, right? That is asked how it has performed, how it has led to urban reduction of urban poverty. So idea is, if you have contemporary knowledge, you will do better, right? There is no clear cut difference between that. How many years? Sometimes they ask about even 5-6 years back ideas. Okay. Any other question? Dekho Kanchan, there are two aspects. If you prepare subject wise by taking 2 GS subjects and 1 optional every day, and then you can again integrate current affairs, it is your plate. You should be able to digest it. Don't overeat it. If you are able to digest it, I cannot say you cannot, right? If it is working for you, if you are good with switching, say, 3 hours of preparation for GS to 2 hours or 1 hour for second subject like society, and then I'm giving 3 hours for my optional, and then I'm giving 1 hour for my current affairs, if it fits you, it's okay. I cannot tell no, don't do that. But idea is, if you are just suffering, if you are not able to do anything, then at least focus on 1 optional and 1 GS. That's the idea. Okay. Any other question? How to do answer writing? And I told you, Nikita, just start, right? Just start answer writing, brainstorm some topic, and then actually write answers. In that, I told earlier as well how to evaluate. Obviously, in beginning, you will not understand anything, so you will need help of mentors, right? If you cannot afford that in any case, then you can go to your peers or some seniors. But I always will ask you, always focus on investment of your life, right? Right now, if someone say, okay, sir, it is too costly or something, think about how 1 year preparation can lead to 5 years of preparation, and it happens to 90% of the candidates, 95% of the candidates. Don't think in short term. Saving money at this point of time and then later wasting 5 years, it is very big issue, right? So get proper guidance, and then maximum 1 or 2 attempts you should be able to clear. That is all that you need, right? So don't focus on that part. I hope that is okay. I hope every question is answered. If no, I mean taking just 2 per day, 3. That is okay, Kanchan. If it works for you, totally fine. I have no issues with that. Nothing is enough, Mamantha. Nothing is enough for UPSC. I cannot say anything is enough. As I told you, 70-80% of the things will be covered. But again, you have to supplement it, complement it with your current affairs, with your tests, etc. That's how you learn. In UPSC, there's nothing like there's a guide and all the questions will be coming from that guide. No, it will not happen like that. Any other question? The first thing is, if you Pranjali Singh have asked if you are in classroom program, uh, first thing is obviously you are getting one of the best teachers in the world. So obviously you have to revise whatever they are teaching. So revise every day, and then maybe 2 hours add value to that. So if you are just starting, maybe read some NCRTs. If you are just starting with modern history, and if you are comfortable with spectrum, start reading spectrum. Again, there are some subjects where NCRTs will be needed, like geography, obviously. But again, there will be some subjects where you may not need NCRTs, but again, that will be dependent on what your teachers are telling you, right? I hope that is clear. Any other issue? Aditya, let's take this example. So many of you are struggling with this. So suppose, as I told you, food processing industry. This is our theme, right? So what is food processing? What is the scope of food processing in India? What are the challenges in food processing, upstream, downstream, right? What are the government initiatives? What are the achievements of these initiatives, positive outcomes, and again, what issues remains? Then what's the way ahead? In that particular way ahead, what's the some global best practices or some best practices from India that you can inculcate, and then finally conclude? This is how you have to make notes. Initially, notes will be in like 4 or 5 pages, but gradually, whenever you revise, it will become short, it will become more refined. So at the end of the day, 1 pages will be there. That will be the end product. It will not be the beginning. Otherwise, you will lack the analytical ability wala part. Okay? I hope it's clear. Anything else, students, that you want to discuss? Okay, I hope everything is sorted. And still, if you feel you have any issue, so you can come to me at 7B Vajiram and Ravi, right? 3rd floor. I'm the manager of Step Up Mentorship Program. You can ask for my name, Shashank Gupta, right? So I will be happy to take your doubts there, or you can call this number. And they will help you connect with me in case you need any information regarding our mentorship program. So do fill the form that will be there on the video link provided. So that form will actually guide you to me as well. Okay? So you can scan the QR code. You can call on this number if you want any further information. I hope this session was fruitful for you. I hope you must have learned some things. Just to summarize what we did in this session, first thing is we have tried to understand what you need to do in these next 6 months, right? These next 6 months are very crucial. Again, I'm highlighting, if you miss the bus now, you will be attempting in 27, right? It is a bitter truth. Okay? Now, I have tried to categorize all the students interview appearing, maybe who will not be able to clear, unfortunately, mains, and people who are just preparing for 2026. So we have tried to give in specific plans for them and strategies regarding that. And again, I hope you will implement that part. And most importantly, Just remember that you have to have structure to your preparation, you have to be consistent, and finally you have to apply every day, right? So this is what you have to do, and I wish you the best. I wish all of you will clear this exam with flying colors, and still if you have any issue you can call on this number. Okay, I wish you the best, all the very best. Thank you for attending the session.